Congratulations, Cody. Cody's already got his spot to Hawaii. But this guy standing in front of me doesn't. So we have to officially do the declaration and the affirmation and all that good stuff. Lionel Sanders, you coming back to Kona?
You're dang right, baby.
How did it feel accepting your Kona slot on that stage at the awards ceremony?
It was good. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't like finishing second. It's horrible, actually. It's just an absolute horrible feeling. Second's the worst place to finish, I would say. You're the first loser. And so yeah, of course I know. I've got to remind myself I went there to get a Kona slot. I was on extremely tight timeline. I had to sort of, do the minimal training to even remotely make it a possibility. So I'm not down about it, but I'm also not super happy about it. So, yeah, good to get the Kona slot, but let's not get too many pats on the back on that one. I don't think that was certainly not the end goal for the season. And I think I respond pretty well to defeat, and definitely this defeat will motivate me, and I'm excited, and I'm already back training now. So yeah, there's nothing really that needs to be changed. Just really going to continue to execute the plan that I had executed into Trombone, but the intensity is just coming up naturally. Yeah, that's all there is to it. I mean, let's be real. Mont Trombone is a significantly different race than Kona. Kona plays significantly different. Mont Trombone is a much more individual race. Kona is a much more group sort of race, and so you have to be in a different kind of shape, because you definitely need to be able to bridge the gap. If you don't swim in the front pack, then you need to get to the front pack as fast as you possibly can, because every second that goes by that you're not in that front pack, you are at a significant disadvantage. So you need to train accordingly, and of course I have that in the back of my mind. And then of course, I mean, it's been a runner's race for the vast majority of the time. It's been a few years where the biker has been able to pull it off, but the fact of the matter is the biker 9 times out of 10 does not pull it off. So you damn well better be in good run form, and I was not in very good run form in Mont Trombone, and that obviously shows itself. I definitely was running off of muscle memory. In fact, I did most of the race, upon reflection, I did most of the race off of muscle memory. Certainly not fitness that I had. So the kind of cool part is that the amount of time that I had to train for Trombone, 6 weeks, I actually have that same amount of time, 6 weeks plus a taper, to train for Kona. And I'm probably about 10 to 15% more fit now than I was when I began the Mont Trombone prep. So I mean, anyways, it's not, obviously this is not an optimal situation in terms of absolute fitness, but I think as I proved to myself in Trombone, muscle memory goes a long way, and being, fresh and not super overtrained goes a long way. And some of my best seasons have been seasons where I raced a lot, and the value in racing a lot is that, if you're doing it properly, you'll taper into the race probably 5 or 6 days, and then you'll take 5 to, after an Ironman, I took 7 days fully of recovery with just some active recovery stuff in there. So you add that up, that's 7 plus 6, and then just the race. So 14 days with one hard effort in 14 days. You just would never do that in practice. You would never take 14 days with one hard day. You'd probably train hard for 12 of those 14 days. And that's kind of the nice part about doing races, is that it forces you to recover both into and after the race and shed some of that fatigue. So I definitely, moving forward, will race more because I think there's value in that, and then also be sure to take proper recovery. And basically, I think you're recovering well when you're yearning to get back to hard training, not dreading getting back to hard training. And definitely by Saturday, and I remember saying multiple times while we were out playing golf, I can't wait to start training again. And take another day of recovery after that day, and then you're probably, ready to begin easing back into training. And so that's what I done. So now I'm on day 6 of the first, if we call it week 1 of 6 full weeks of training that I'll do going into Kona. And once again, you have to listen to your body. You don't know how, if you're still carrying some deep-seated fatigue, and so I'm definitely doing that. Just a fairly light week. It'll be 12 hours on the bike, 22 kilometers swimming, and 100 kilometers running. So we have 6 weeks to fix that and to change that.
And speaking about 6 weeks, that's how much time we have until Kona. So what's the plan from now until then? Training low-cal. Are you not low-cal, but
training low-cal?
Not low-calorie.
I don't intend to do
low-cal.
any low-cal training whatsoever.
Location.
In fact, I hope to be in a calorie surplus,
Low-cal.
but that doesn't occur too much. In terms of low-cal, what is that? What is that short
Location.
form?
Like, are you going to change location?
That's definitely a word that needs to be shortened. The locale. Well, the current locale that I'm in is in Windsor still. But as you can see, I'm wearing a shirt right now, unfortunately, and it is starting to cool off here. And you look at the Kona temperature, and it's certainly ridiculously hot there still. So time to start to think about that. And so next week we'll hop in the car and make the 29-hour car ride down to Tucson. And once again, not going to change a whole lot, just going to do some of my easy stuff out in the heat, my long ride probably, a couple of easy rides. Definitely keep all my workouts indoors on the trainer, hard run workouts indoors on the trainer, but definitely start to expose myself a little bit to the elements, to the heat, but not too much, everything within reason, of course. And then just living, I think, here this evening we're sitting outside and it's 70 degrees or 72 degrees. And I'm sure in Tucson right now it's probably 100 degrees. So just living in a warm place, I think, is definitely, half the battle. So we'll do that for almost 3 weeks. And then I'm going to do Augusta 70.3, which is, I believe, 2 weeks before Kona. Actually, it's probably less than 2 weeks before Kona. It's the Sunday, Kona's the Saturday. And for the reasons I mentioned before, I'm going to do some pretty heavy training these next 4 weeks, and then I'm going to want to shed that fatigue. That's a mistake I think looking back in 2000, in both 17 and 18. In 18, I had Corey Belmore with me, phenomenal runner, good swimmer, and we trained hard for, basically a month leading into Kona. And I mean, I hadn't run a sub 3-minute K all season, and then 2 weeks before Kona, I think I did a workout of like 8 by a K on cinder track, all sub 3-minute Ks, and then 5 by 2K. My 2Ks, the first couple 2Ks were sub 3-minute Ks for 2K in the Kona heat at 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. And these are just things that this is not what you should do 3 or 2 weeks leading into your A race, an Ironman A race. Maybe if you were training for an Olympic distance or a sprint distance, you would do those types of things. But that was just, I think, probably that was just the nail in the coffin for me. I had no business competing in 2018 anyway. But that put the nail in the coffin, that's for certain. And even in 17, out of insecurity, the week before the race, I biked the course, and then I ran 15 kilometers off the bike. I biked the course in like 4:35, and my nutrition was not very good, and I felt, pretty poorly at 15 kilometers, and I panicked a little bit, and I said, I just can't, there's just no way I can have my next big effort be the race. And so 1 week before the race, I did the swim race, and then I biked the course again at about 4:35, and then I felt much better, and I executed a different nutrition plan, and then I just ran 10K off the bike. But these are just things, these are like insecure things that you do that you shouldn't do. And so, long story short, I'm going to do Augusta 70.3, taper into that race, shed that fatigue from the big block, fly after the Augusta race to Kona. I have 4 little benchmark sessions. They won't be maximal in any way, shape, or form. I'll already have done my peak weeks of volume and that sort of thing. Just do my sort of benchmark sessions there, and then hopefully we'll have confidence from the race, a good training effect, 4 sessions in Kona, and then just the 6 days taper leading into the race, where we'll have a few commitments. And but for the most part, why are we going to Kona that early, 2 weeks early? It's mainly, once again, just Tucson's hot, but it's not humid, and so Kona's hot and humid, so that's what we'll do for the 2 weeks leading into the race.